Welcome to today's meditation. Find a comfortable position and let your eyes close when you're ready. Before we begin, a brief reflection on today's theme. You don't always have to stick the landing. Sometimes you stumble through the door after a long day. Drop your keys on the counter. Forget why you walked into the room, and that's fine. We put so much pressure on how things end. The perfect finish, the graceful conclusion. But most real arrivals are messy. You get there tired, uncertain, a little undone. The point was never to land perfectly. The point was to land at all. Today, we practice arriving gently. No performance, no sticking the landing, just letting yourself touch down, however that looks. Let your body settle, not into a perfect position, into whatever position you're already in. Feel your weight, not as something to fix, just as a fact. You are here, you have mass, you are touching something solid. Notice your breath without adjusting it. It might be shallow, it might be uneven. That's fine. Let it be whatever it is. You don't need to arrive at relaxation. You just need to stop trying so hard to get there. Feel your hands. Where are they resting? Can you let them be heavy? Not forced heavy, just released. That release is a soft landing, not a dramatic drop. Just a quiet letting go. Feel your feet on the ground or your legs against the chair. Notice the points of contact. You are supported. Something is holding you up right now, and you don't have to do anything about that. Just receive it. Think about how you arrive places. Not just physically, but emotionally. How do you arrive at the end of a workday? Do you cross some finish line in your head and immediately start the next race? Or do you actually land? Most of us don't land. We crash, or we hover. We crash when we collapse on the couch, numb, scrolling, checked out. We hover when we keep running the day's problems through our heads, never quite putting them down. Neither one is a landing. A landing is intentional. It's the moment you let your wheels touch the ground. And it doesn't have to be graceful. about actual airplanes landing. Even the best pilots don't aim for perfect. They aim for safe. The tires screech. The whole plane shudders. Everyone lurches forward a little. And then you're there. Nobody claps because it was pretty. They clap because it's over. Because they arrived. What if you treated your daily arrivals the same way? Not grading yourself on how smoothly you transitioned from work to home. Not judging yourself for being tired or distracted or short-tempered when you walked through the door. Just acknowledging that you landed. You made it. That's enough. We have this idea that transitions should be seamless. That a good parent switches from work mode to parent mode without a hitch. That a productive person finishes one task and glides into the next. But real transitions are bumpy. You bring the meeting's frustration to the dinner table. You bring the morning argument into your afternoon. You bring yesterday into today. That's not failure. That's being human. The soft landing isn't about preventing the bumps. It's about not punishing yourself for them. Here's something interesting. The harder you try to land perfectly, the worse it usually goes. You've seen this. You decide you're going to come home in a great mood. Be present with the kids. Be patient with your partner. And then traffic is bad, or the kitchen is a mess, or someone needs something from you before you've even put your bag down. And because you set the bar at perfect, anything less feels like failure. But if the bar was just, I'm going to land, however it looks, then traffic is just traffic. The mess is just a mess. The need is just a need. None of it means you failed. The pressure to land perfectly creates the crash. Let that sink in. Notice your body right now. Are you still holding anything? Shoulders up near your ears, jaw clenched, stomach tight. You don't need to force those open. Just notice them. Sometimes noticing is enough. Sometimes the body releases on its own when it realizes nobody's watching. That's a soft landing too, not forcing yourself to relax, just creating the conditions where relaxation might happen. There's a difference between collapsing and landing. Collapsing is giving up. Landing is choosing to stop. Collapsing says, I can't do this anymore. Landing says, I'm done for now, and that's okay. One comes from depletion, the other from permission. You're allowed to be done, not because you've earned it, not because you've checked every box, just because you've decided this is where you stop. Think about that for a moment. You don't need to earn the right to rest. You don't need to hit some threshold of productivity before you're allowed to stop. Permission to land doesn't come from the outside. It comes from you. Think about how you end your days. Do you fall asleep mid-scroll, phone slipping from your hand? Or do you actually close the day? There's something powerful about conscious ending. Not a ritual, not a journaling practice, not some elaborate routine. Just a moment where you say to yourself, that was today. It happened. It's done. That's a soft landing at the end of a day. Letting the day be finished, even if it wasn't finished the way you wanted. Even if the to-do list is still half full. Even if the conversation didn't go well. Even if you didn't exercise or eat right or drink enough water. The day still ends. Whether you close it gently or let it crash into sleep, it still ends. You might as well land. The same thing applies to conversations. You know those arguments that don't really end? They just trail off. Both people walk away still carrying it, replaying their best lines, thinking of what they should have said. There's no landing there, just hovering. A soft landing in a conversation might be saying, I don't think we're going to solve this right now. Not as defeat, as honesty. Letting something be unresolved without letting it consume you. That takes more strength than you'd think. Because we're trained to resolve, to tie up loose ends, to reach a conclusion. But some things don't resolve on your timeline. Some things need to stay open for a while. A soft landing lets them stay open without you orbiting them endlessly. Feel your breath again. Each exhale is a small landing. The air goes out. The body settles just slightly. You don't have to do anything with the next inhale. It comes on its own. Just notice the landing at the bottom of each breath. That tiny pause between out and in. That's where the stillness lives. Not in the breathing, in the space between breaths. There's one more thing about soft landings. They apply to how you arrive at yourself. Think about when you make a mistake. Something small. You snap at someone. You forget something important. You say the wrong thing. How do you land in that moment? Do you crash, spiraling into shame, replaying it over and over? Or do you hover, pretending it didn't happen, pushing past it without acknowledging it? A soft landing after a mistake would be just saying, "That happened." Not making it bigger than it is, not making it smaller than it is. Just touching down on the truth of it. I messed up. It matters. And I'm still okay. That's how you land inside yourself. Without the crash, without the hover. Notice where you are now versus where you were at the start. You didn't have to do anything dramatic to get here. You just showed up. You stayed. That's a soft landing. Not a transformation, not a breakthrough, just a quiet arrival at wherever you are. The practice isn't about learning how to land better. It's about stopping the judgment of how you land now. Messy is fine. Tired is fine. Uncertain is fine. You landed. You're here. That was always the only point. Start to notice the room around you. The sounds. The air on your skin. The surface holding you up. There's nothing to rush toward. Let yourself arrive at the end of this meditation the same way we talked about. Gently, without grading yourself. When you're ready, open your eyes. Or don't. There's no right way to finish. Carry this with you today, not as a technique, as a permission. You don't have to stick every landing. You just have to let yourself touch down. Not just in meditation, but in everything. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you next time, because meditation should be free.